Hey guys, welcome back. I am using these pieces that I decided on the previous card not to use on it. Just didn't work. Colours didn't work. So hopefully this will be a very quick video for you guys. So just to recap, well not recap, I haven't told you yet. These are the stamp sets I'm going to be using, or that I have used. So the cookie cutter Halloween was for the mummy, which is there. The Pick a Pumpkin was all the pumpkins that I stamped on Cajun Craze and in a VersaFine Onyx Black ink. I also used Onyx Black ink on this, and this is Sahara Sand, Stampin' Up cardstock. And then the Ghoulish Grunge we're going to do something with, and then for the sentiment, because none of these have sentiments in them, I'm going to use the How You Been Lawn Fawn Candy Corn add-on and just use the Happy Halloween. I think that's what I'm going to do. So we'll see. So I have all these little pumpkins, like I say, that I cut out previously. So to start with, I do have a piece that is 11 inches. I know you can't see that. 11 inches by 4 1/4, and I'm going to score it and fold it at 5 1/2. So I'll just do that now quickly. Off. 5 1/2. And this is also Sahara Sand Stampin' Up cardstock. So that's the card base. So it'll open, whoops, that way. So that's that. I then do have a piece of black cardstock. This is like a textured cardstock. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, there you go. And it's a Paper Mania paper. It's really nice. Cuts really well. They have like a coloured pack as well, and a white and a black pack of card. It cuts really well in like the Cricut die cut machines, but I've just got it as a layer, and this measures 5 1/8 by 3 7/8, because this piece, which is also the Sahara Sand, is 3 3/4 by 5. So I just wanted a small border around this layer, and then that way when it goes on the main card there'll be a bigger border, around the main images. So that's why I did that. And then this is a piece of Cajun Craze, which measures 3 3/4. Oh, you can't see that. 3 3/4 by looks like 2 1/4. So it's just I just kind of played around with it and worked out what size I want it. So what I'm going to do now, oh, I also have some brown ribbon, which is just two-sided. So I'm going to take, if I can find it, the Ghoulish Grunge, and there's one on here that looks kind of like mesh, like a mummy would have on it, you know, like they do. So I'm going to, if you hear any background noise, it's my cat driving my husband mad. So he kind of woke us up at 4 o'clock this morning, so we're not impressed. So, on a Sunday. So I've got that on a acrylic block, and I'm going to use the same colour ink, providing it works, because, you know, my inks have dried out a bit, so I do need to get some more refills for them. But I'm going to use the same colour on the same colour cardstock. If you don't have that, just use a tone, you know, that will work with it, like a light brown or something like that. You don't have to have the exact same colour. So I'm just going to attempt to ink this up. Like I say, this might be a bit dry. And then I'm going to just, I think I'll go this way actually. I'm just going to randomly stamp it and then I will come back and fill in the gaps. It's kind of like you're making your own background paper. Oh, that was too far down. And you don't have to go, oh actually that'll be fine. I was going to say you don't have to go all the way down anyway, but we're just going to get this on here like so. That's it. How difficult was that background? It's not, is it? No. Just clean this up because you will have ink on your work surface. If you wanted to, or, you know, you could put a piece of like copy paper underneath and that'll just absorb the excess ink that goes off. But that's how you can create what looks like a bigger sheet of, like you've cut it from a bigger sheet of cardstock when you haven't at all. So just going to get this stuck on here. On the bottom, and it's just flush with that, if I cut it right, of course. For the most part. And what I want now is a bit of ribbon and scissors would be good. Oh. And I actually quite like the dots. I keep going out of frame, sorry. I actually quite like the dots, so I'm going to keep the dots. And I need some tape. Helpful. Just grab a bit of tape here. You could also use some sticky tape, sellotape. Other brands are available. So you could also use that as well. And that's normally what I would do anyway. So actually that last pattern you're not even going to see because I've got to cover it up. But anyway, it's fine. Just going to stick that on there. And then I think I'm going to stick these on to, actually let's just use the glue because it's just quicker. I'm going to stick these on to the different layers. And not get my hands in it too badly. This is where wet adhesive is quite handy because you can, not all, but some you can move around for a couple of seconds to get it where you want it. And then stick this one on as well. And over here. May as well, right? Card base. You see how you've got a bigger border around. I quite like that look actually. This looks a bit squonk. I like that. Oh yeah, it looks cool. So just to show you the texture you get from some of these sort of background stamps. So it doesn't have to be a whole background stamp, you can have pieces, if you know what I mean. Now I just want to figure out where I'm going to put all these dudes. I kind of have an idea anyway, so it's not too too testing for me. Just want a rough idea where I'm starting off. Right, let's just use some adhesive, I think. Kind of weird at the moment, I seem to want to stick everything flat, whereas in the old days, before, I used to want to pop everything up, and I still do that, but I do like scene cards, you guys know that aren't sort of super dimensional, if you know what I mean. So I'm just gonna, I think I'm gonna put him about there. This one there. This is super easy to do, guys. Super easy. I feel like I might need to try to stick that down a little bit, that ribbon. Sticking up a bit. So there's all my pumpkins. And then I also want to add a little Happy Halloween. In fact, hold that thought. Right, I've changed my mind on my sentiments, and I remembered that I have Spooky Stuff by Tim Holtz, and this is a really old but really good creepy kind of stamp set. It's got that whole vibe, shall we say. So I decided that actually, because there's so much space at the top here, I needed a big sentiment. I thought that would be very, very cool to do. So I am going to, oh, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use the Happy Halloween from there. Now, I can't see through that, so I'm going to use, and as much will in the world, I can't line it up enough to get it to be straight-ish on here, so I'm not going to try that. I'm going to use my Stampin' jig, which I also used in the last video, and actually I really missed using this, so I was chuffed when I brought it out. So the colour that I think I'm going to use, I think I will use, I want to use black, like the VersaFine, because I think that will just have the most impact, but I could use like Cajun Craze. I wouldn't use the Sahara Sand again, you know, the sort of same tone that you've used here, because it's two tone on tone, if you know what I mean. But I think I'm just going to use VersaFine, if I can find it. I do have Vintage Sepia, but I do have some black in there, so I'm going to use the VersaFine. Whoop. And that will just tie everything together, like it'll all do that. So, don't know what that was, but you know. So to start with, we need to make our template up, which is what this little doofer is for. So you put the corner of the plastic sheet that comes with your Stampin' jig. I don't even know if they make these anymore, but if you do have one, this is what you do. Put that into the corner of the handle, this bit here, and just sort of keep it in place. It's not difficult to do, it's not too strenuous anyway. And then I'm just going to open, I should have done this first. I'm going to open my ink pad, and I have it off to the side there. And you've got your image on your stamp on your block, right? So you're going to hold that in place, just grab your image. This bit does not have to be perfectly inked. Just get it inky. and then put the corner, top left corner, into the corner of the, that's barely going to fit on there. Ooh, that was lucky. Into the corner of the Stampin' jig, and then just sort of push it down. Just gives you an idea of where to go, and if you don't stamp it right, if you haven't moved, it'll be in the same place, so it's fine. Then you move the handle out the way. Now this is where you take this is like your template now, so you can see where you want to put it on your project. So where do I want that? About there, or should I have it low down? No, let's have it about there. And then, yeah, that makes more sense. So what I would suggest though is just temper it, because I've got everything on the card already. Maybe not the best advice in the world to have done, but you just want to make sure that your card's not going to move. So this is just some washi tape, and I'm just sort of getting rid of some of the tack, although it's not super tacky anyway. And then I'm just going to temporarily stick this to my work surface, and then that way it shouldn't move, hopefully. So I'm just going to line this up roughly where I want it, a little bit higher I think, get it somewhat middle-ish. Then you're going, once you've lined up your template, you're going to put the corner again into the corner of the handle, remove your template, but hold your handle in place, and then re-ink your stamp. They're nice and inky because this is your actual thing that you're going to do. If it's words, make sure it's the right way up. Once you've gone back in the corner of the handle, you can press down, and then you can remove your handle as long as you don't move this. Otherwise you will mess up your nice project. So let's see. Oh, I don't want to take it off. That's alright. And it's Halloween, so I don't need it perfect, because, yeah, it's Halloween. So, let's just take this bit off. And even though it's washi tape, I still am quite careful when I remove it, because I have had that tear before. So yes, just any tape you use. So there you go. One very quick and simple. I know I'd already stamped and cut these pieces out. This set had dies, and this one was a punch. That they actually had some cookie cutter Christmas as well, which I didn't get for some random reason. But the Halloween ones I have, because I'm obsessed with Halloween as well. So I actually really like how this turned out. So for having some pieces that I didn't use on a previous card, because it just, in the end, the colour just didn't work, to making another quick card for you guys, I think that's a nice thing to do as well. Handy little tip for you if you ever need to suddenly make something quick. This is really easy to do. Even if it wasn't because you had leftovers from another project, you could still make a cute card. So I hope you've liked this, and I hope you come back for more. I know it's kind of early for Halloween, but it's still summer here, but I don't care. I am obsessed with Halloween. So I will see you in the next one, guys. Happy Halloween. Okay, that's going to get old soon. I know. I'm sorry. See you soon.